The NVIDIA RTX 5000 series launch is officially a disaster. Hey, what's cracking everybody? Welcome back to Computer Games Hardware. It's been a couple of weeks since we've done a quote-unquote regular video, so it's good to be back talking directly to you guys. We've had lots of NVIDIA stuff to talk to, and the NVIDIA stuff doesn't seem to be hitting as big as the AMD and Intel stuff, but that's okay. Today, I want to talk about the nightmare that NVIDIA's 50 series launch has been, with all the issues that are going on to missing ROPs, we've got melting connectors, we've got all the greatest hits. So let's get stuck into it. Hey, just want to jump in here and say, if you're enjoying any of the content on Computer Games Hardware, please chuck us a like, share, and subscribe. Watching the videos really helps me out too, guys. Big shout out to all our new subscribers and all you OGs out there who've supported me from the beginning. Appreciate you all. Also, big shout out to Secret Lab for supporting the channel. You can get one of these comfy chairs from our affiliate links in the description below. Secret Lab, one of the best, comfiest chair. I've had this one for a while. I've got myself some new armrests, and we're gonna do a video about how you can swap those out. I've got my old crusty armrest, which I've just recently swapped out for some new smooth ones, which is really nice. So big shout out to Secret Lab. Check out our links in the description below. There's been a manufacturing defect with the RTX 5090, the 5070 Ti, and I also believe the 5090D, I want to say, correct me if I'm wrong there, and that one is the Chinese version of the 5090, which I believe has reduced AI performance due to the US export restrictions that they've got. You know how Huawei and all those companies have different restrictions and things like that. So I think they needed a cut down version for NVIDIA to comply. Anyway, so some of these units have a manufacturing defect that was allowed to pass through quality control that sees the silicone with less ROPs, which is the rendering output units, which affects the rasterization performance from about 5 to 15%. So NVIDIA say that is a very small amount of GPUs, and they say that the average impact on performance is around 4%, and it has no outcome on AI workloads, which is just a sucky thing to say if you ask me, because people aren't buying these GPUs for that shit. Let's be honest, they want the performance in gaming. So, to have it be the one thing that it falls down on is just terrible news for NVIDIA. So this is bad news for a pretty meh launch that's already occurred. NVIDIA can't catch a break, and it seems like we as the consumers can't catch a break either. Every launch has had massive issues just over the last couple of years. It seems like it just can't get it right. There's been delays, there's been the Intel issues, everything like that. Look, if you have one of these GPUs, a 5090, a 5070 Ti, or the 5090D, let me show you how to see if you have the right amount of ROPs on your GPU. And what you guys want to do is you want to get yourself a program from Tech Power Up called GPU-Z. Tech Power Up is one of the best tech websites in the world. As you can see, I've got it here on my desktop here. You can download it so it's single use only, so you can just click on it, it'll pop up and it doesn't download onto your system, or you can use the installer to download on your system. Highly recommend it. Big shout out to the guys at Tech Power Up. Anyway, this is GPU-Z, and obviously I have a AMD card, so you see your card will pop up with what type of graphics you have, and I've got the 6800 XD. Now Navi 21. So it tells you all the details. You can see the die size, you can see the process node, you can see the transistors and all that sort of stuff. You can even save your BIOS on that and make sure that it's working, or you can save it. It tells you all the shaders, the memory type, and all that sort of stuff. But what we're looking for is here. You can see the ROPS/TMU. So the ROP is the rendering output unit, and TMU is the texture mapping unit. Texture mapping units. Anyway, so you can see it there. So you can see that mine is 128, and then what you can do is you can go to the Tech Power Up website. So Power Up, so you just hit that in, go to the Tech Power Up website. You can see the GPUs link there, and you go, let's go RX 6800 XT, get that up, and you can see, so there it is. Right, there is our ROPS right there. So you got Navi 21, 4608 cores, got 288 TMUs, and 128 ROPS. So if we bring up good old GPU-Z, you can see our ROPS match. We've got 128 and our TMUs are 288. So everything is looking good here, right? You can see all our units and shaders and everything like that, and you can go down in all of the details and compare that in GPU-Z. So it's an excellent program. So if you're wondering if you are suffering from this problem, highly recommend you download GPU-Z and you check on Tech Power Up or any website that you trust that you've got the right ROPS for your GPU. So I've got 128, and that's what's going on here. So I am good to go on my Radeon card. So that is really not a good day for people who have been, expecting to get some awesome gaming performance in, and now they've got to deal with this. Anyway, do you guys have a affected GPU? Please let me know in the comments down below. And if you need any support, please put an RMA in. Get your GPU fix. I know it might only be 4%, but it can be up to 15% in rasterization performance. So get it checked, let us know, make some noise about it, because you should be getting what you paid for. So not only are you not getting the hardware performance that you've been expecting, but quite unusually there has been some driver and stability problems with these new 5000 series GPUs as well. So there's been a string of performance issues affecting these GPUs. People are saying there's been driver timeouts, there's been performance hangs, and all those sort of things, blue screens of death, the work. NVIDIA have tried to address the issues in the latest driver updates, but some people are still reporting that they are having issues in a lot of common games. So not the kind of thing that you actually expect from NVIDIA. They've got a good reputation for having good, stable drivers. So that's just another annoying issue to deal with when you've purchased a extremely expensive GPU. This doesn't only affect the 5090s and the 5070s, but the 5080s as well. So driver-based problem, overhead, whatever it might be, NVIDIA are working on it, but certainly not the experience that new users have expected from NVIDIA. So big one there as well. Another massive performance issue from NVIDIA, which is really an own goal on this one, is NVIDIA dropping PhysiX support for the 5000 series, leading to a whole bunch of performance issues in older games that relied on the technology. NVIDIA PhysiX was the it was like motion smoothing, right? It helped the motion in games. So now older games are dropping performance and looking a bit sloppier thanks to NVIDIA dropping support for PhysiX. And what it's essentially done is it's taken this workload that used to be done on the GPU and it's pushed it over to the CPU for older games. So now there's some performance overhead on the CPU that people are using, and obviously everyone's different, so there's a range of it. So people are not happy about this, and their older games aren't performing as expected. So really, that is 3 pretty bad performance related issues, and you'd think that support for NVIDIA PhysiX would be pretty easy to maintain. I don't know why they've dropped support for that. Clearly it is to focus on the AI performance and all that sort of thing. Like, they seem pretty worried about, oh, don't worry guys, you still get AI and workload performance despite the fact that you don't have the hardware that you set out to purchase. It's come defective, which is really upsetting. So I think that's part of the reason why. But support for PhysiX doesn't seem to be a big deal to me. If I'm wrong about that, let me know in the comments down below. What do you think the reasons for NVIDIA dropping support on their latest GPU for NVIDIA PhysiX? It's a pretty weird one to me. Another massive issue that NVIDIA has faced is, they've been widely criticized by all of Techland out there for the 5000 series being a massive paper launch. There is no stock of any of this stuff anywhere, and that's obviously leading to scalper prices. They're out of stock everywhere. No one can get these things, so I don't even know if it's a saving grace at this point that only such a small amount of people are being affected by these issues, because there's just not any stock. Ridiculously expensive as well. Scalper prices are through the roof. It's just an absolute joke. And as we know, they haven't really reviewed that well either. So, people have decidedly felt like the performance is kind of meh. Even for the mighty 5090, the Halo product, it just doesn't seem to be performing that much better than a 4090. And it's obvious that the AI and the workload processing and, all this stuff that NVIDIA saying is just really important for your game experience is not hitting consumers at this point. I know what you're probably thinking. I haven't even brought up the biggest thing about it, but I'm gonna get to it. Don't worry. This one really pisses me off. I can't believe this is happening in 2025 after all the learnings from the 4000 series and everything that's gone on, the redevelopment, the R&D that NVIDIA must have gone through to update these goddamn connectors to improve them, and they're all melting. And people are going to say, oh yeah, it's user error, they've changed the colors on the connector, people are using the wrong one. If it's that difficult to do, then you probably have to rethink how you plug in your bloody GPU. This is ridiculous. They're melting left, right, and center. You can check out, I believe DeBauer did a breakdown on how inefficient the cables are in distributing the thermal load and the output of the power in the connectors. So this is a widespread problem, and I know people, get third-party connectors and things like that, but they're basing it off NVIDIA's hardware. This is NVIDIA's technology. They had a perfectly good 8-pin layout that they could have just used, gone back to and said, no, we've, made a mistake and did a relearning, but they wanted to, revolutionize their design and make this amazing product. And I have to admit, hey, these things look amazing, but who wants to buy a product that is going to potentially melt, be defective, burn up in your computer, burn up your house? It feels ridiculous to me. I can't believe this is happening. One or two of these would be enough for me to say that this is a disaster. But all of these things put together, it just makes it feel like a little bit of like a game, a little bit of a joke. I don't know what's going on with these hardware manufacturers where they can have like seriously dangerous defects, like the melting power cables, and be okay with it. It's more than just unfortunate. It's a real problem. If it doesn't work, take it back to the drawing board. Do you know what I mean? There's a way to engineer these things to get enough power into them so that they're safe to use. Like, we're talking about your customers' safety, well-being. It's not acceptable for this to be happening. Now, I also want to say I've been pretty critical of Intel and Nvidia. So before everyone jumps out of the woodwork and say, why don't you talk about AMD like that or anything like that? I'm pretty critical of everyone all the time. So you can check out our Intel and AMD videos where I call their launches a disaster as well. And do you know what? Not everything's a disaster. There are some good and bad products in all different types of stacks. What we're talking about here is the launch. So I get criticized sometimes for say, oh, you said this was good and that's not good. Well, yeah, at the time, based on the information that I was consuming, like the rest of you, I thought it was a pretty good deal. But now you stack one of these things one on top of another and you go, there's three pretty serious performance issues. There's availability and scalping that's going back to like the 3090 days, which is just really disappointing to see. And now we've learnt nothing out of the 40 series, and we've got melting connectors that may just be worse than it was for the 40 series. It's just crazy. So Nvidia have really dropped the ball on this. The feeling for me is that, tech hasn't been that exciting or fun. It's just these reports of these things happening to consumers, because at the end of the day, we're the ones pumping money into it. So be careful with your money. Make sure you know what you're getting. And if you're affected by this, don't just accept it. Reach out, make some noise about it, and definitely get your card RMA'd if you don't have the right amount of ROPS. If you get an RMA and it's rejected for something other than the ROPS, please let us know in the comments down below so we can reach out to Nvidia, do something about it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Do you think Nvidia have screwed the pooch on this one? I definitely think they have. It's going to be interesting to see how they respond from here. What do you think they're going to do? Anyway, that's going to do it for this one, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I've had a good time making this one. I hope you've had a good time watching it, and I will check you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. See you next time.